Luigi's Mansion. Is it good? Yeah, in Luigi's Mansion you play as Luigi. He recently won a competition that he didn't enter, and the prize was a mansion. But this mansion is haunted and full of ghosts. At the start of the game you get given a vacuum cleaner and a torch. To start off with, all you have to do is shine your torch on a ghost to surprise them and then vacuum them up. The mechanics of vacuuming the ghosts is very similar to that of a fishing minigame. You have to pull in the opposite direction of the ghost in order to suck them up. What makes sure this never gets boring is that there's so many different ghost types, each with their own approach, and later on you get a different set of skills, which I won't spoil, that make the game a little more difficult, but in a good way. When you arrive in the mansion, nearly every door is locked. You can get the keys by clearing rooms of ghosts or mini-bosses. Mini-bosses pose more of a challenge, as there's often a puzzle element to figure out how to beat them. Luckily, you'll get given a Game Boy Horror. This lets you point your camera at anything in the mansion and it will tell you something about it. And if you point it at the boss, it will give you a clue. While I liked all the puzzles in the mansion, there was nothing too hard and I never required a guide. While sucking up ghosts and knocking on furniture, you'll find lots of coins and gems. Very quickly in this game, you'll become the richest Mario Bro of all time. But there's nothing you can do with this cash, and it only contributes to your final rank that you get given when you beat the final boss. The graphics are, for a 3DS game, really good looking, especially considering this is a port of a GameCube game, and the frame rate was also very good right until the very final boss, which seemed to be just too much for it as it started to get a little bit choppy. There's lots of bosses and collectibles to get from the mansion, but once you finish the game, that's it. So you have to make sure you did everything before you take on the final boss. This is disappointing as I nearly had all the ghosts, and if I wanted to go collect the final few, I'd have to start from the start. But you can try the game on a harder difficulty if you're so inclined. The story was pretty good. I won't spoil anything, but there's a weird scientist that keeps you company and tracks your progress. I often found the dialogue very funny and interesting. The soundtrack is amazing, and even after just one short play session, I found myself whistling the theme tune while I wasn't playing the game. There's even callbacks to old Mario themes in the soundtrack, and speaking of callbacks, there's a great music room where you're quizzed which Mario soundtrack is from which game, which is great for a Mario fan. That was Luigi's Mansion, and I give it an 8 out of 10.